Hello, language explorers. I'm Anne, and welcome to Walk a Day English, where each day we combine a new walking theme with practical English learning. Today's walk is someone truly inspirational, a famous Canadian hero, Terry Fox. If you want to improve your English fluency and learn some meaningful history about courage and hope, this video is perfect for you. Plus, there's a free PDF guide linked below to help you talk, walk, and do your journal with today's theme. Let's get started. As you take your walk, think about Terry Fox's journey, his marathon of hope across Canada, despite losing his leg to cancer. Notice your surroundings and imagine how Terry must have felt running through different towns and weather. Use this inspiration to pick up new English words on your walk and add them to your journal. Here's a walk challenge for you. Explore stories about Terry Fox or another famous person you admire. Think about the words you discover while you're on your walk and try using them in sentences. If you choose a different person to walk and explore, your words may be similar or quite different from the ones I have. For me and my Terry Fox walk, marathon, cancer, artificial leg, determination, and courage are words I thought about. Starting a journal habit by writing about these words and your thoughts will improve your English little by little. Keep going, and you will see progress. Did you know that Canadian English often uses spellings different from American English? That's because Canadian English blends British and American rules, making it unique. Learning these differences will help you understand English better and write more naturally if you communicate with Canadians or read Canadian media. Here are 10 spelling examples with sentences. So our first one here is color, C-O-L-O-U-R, or color, C-O-L-O-R. Which one is the Canadian spelling? I'll give you a few seconds to think, and then I'll tell you the answer. If you said color, C-O-L-O-U-R, you are correct. So the Canadian flag has a bright red color. The Canadian flag has a bright red color. There are words in Canadian English that take from the British English, which takes from French. So there are a number of words where we don't use OR, but we will use OUR. The pronunciation will still be the same. I say color or color if I'm in Canada or the United States, but I will spell the word differently. Here are some additional words that have that same spelling pattern. Honor, behavior, neighbor, humor, labor, flavor, and favor. So again, the pronunciation will be the same between American and Canadian English, just the extra U will make the Canadian spelling correct. Let's try another spelling. How about this one here? Center. C-E-N-T-R-E or center. C-E-N-T-E-R. Which one is Canadian? I'll give you a few seconds. If you said C-E-N-T-R-E, you have the correct answer. So again, this one comes from, again, British English, but from the influence of French on the English language. Pronunciation will be the same. Center, center. We don't say centre. Okay, so center or center, exactly the same pronunciation, just switch the letters around. The community center hosts many events. The community center hosts many events. Other words that have the same spelling are fiber, meter, liter, theater, caliber. Let's try another one. Check or check. Check or Cheque. Which one's Canadian? If you said Cheque, check, you are correct. So this one here is for when we talk about money. So like a paycheck will have this spelling. So I paid the bill from my checking account. I paid the bill from my checking account. So this word is related to money. We only use the Cheque spelling when it is related to money. So paycheck, checking account, writing a check, a traveler's check. In other cases, we will spell it the top way, Check. So a check mark, I'm going to check on the chicken in the oven. Those checks will have the other spelling. Let's try another one. Traveling, Travelling, or traveling, Travelling. Which one's Canadian? If you chose the top one with the two L's, you have the correct spelling for traveling. I enjoy traveling in Canada in the summer. I enjoy traveling in Canada in the summer. Words that have this same spelling are cancel, model, fuel, dial, level, signal, and label. You will notice that all of these words can be used as verbs and they all end in L. Here's our next one, defense. Defense or Defence. Which one is Canadian? Defence is the correct spelling in Canada. The game's defense was strong during the game. The team's defense was strong during the game. So be careful. When we use defense as a noun, it's going to have the CE ending. However, when we go into its adjective form, so please don't be defensive, I come back to the S spelling. So Defensive. He can be defensive when you correct his spelling. He can be defensive when you correct his spelling. Here's a similar one. License. License or Licence. Which one is the Canadian spelling? Licence is the correct spelling in Canada. He got his driver's license last year. He got his driver's license last year. Now be careful. English is a crazy language, and when English is combined with two different types of English, it gets a little bit crazier. So the spelling Licence is only for the noun. When I spell it as a verb, then it's License. So I am licensing the event now. I am licensing the event now. The easy way to remember the spelling here in Canada for this particular word is that when you have a license, you get a driver's license, it's a card. Card begins with a C, so license with a C is the noun spelling. Here's another one. Program. Programme or program. Which one is the Canadian spelling? It is the top one. Programme. The television program was about Terry Fox. The television program was about Terry Fox. Now, for this one, the spelling is used for TV shows, like in my example sentence. It is also used for events. So the program of the festival, or the program for the theater show. And it's also used for schedule of events. All other uses will be the shorter spelling of program. Both spellings are accepted, and honestly, in Canada, the MME spelling is starting to disappear. So this one would be a lower importance for its spelling as it is changing more to an American way. But do keep it in mind, you'll see it spelled both ways for different situations. All right, here's our next one. Organize. Organize. In Canada, we say Z instead of Z. Or is it Organise? Which one is our Canadian spelling? Okay, it is Organise. They organized the event. They organized the event. Now, words that are spelled similarly to organize will be specialize, realize, recognize, and utilize. These again come from the French spellings that we have adopted through British English, where American English spells it the way it sounds with a Z sound. But again, this is changing over time, just like you are not the same person you were 5 years ago. The language also changes. So slowly, the ISE spellings are starting to disappear and become an IZE spelling here in Canada. Do be careful. The word advertise and the word exercise are used in American English and Canadian English, and the IZE spelling is not correct in either country for either of these words. Here's our next one. Dialogue. Dialogue or dialogue. Dilog. Which one is Canadian? If you said dialogue, Dialogue, you are correct. Again, it is that French spelling that comes in through our British English to change our spelling. I shadowed the dialogue from the movie. I shadowed the dialogue from the movie. Now, another word that is similar in its spelling is catalog. Catalogue. That is the correct spelling here in Canada. If you spell it Catalog, that would be your American English spelling. And here is our last one, practice. Practice, or practice. Practice. Which one is Canadian? It is the bottom one. Practise. I practice English when I go for a walk. I practice English when I go for a walk. Notice that the word practice here is a verb. It's an action. When we use practice as a noun, so I have soccer practice tonight, I will spell it with the ICE ending. Now, the way that we remember the spelling here in Canada is that ice, ICE, is a noun. So when we spell practice, Practice, we know that that is a noun. And if we spell it with the ISE ending, that is our verb, our action. Try using some of these words in your writing or your comments below or in your journals today, tomorrow, and going forward. Practice that Canadian spelling. And don't forget, all of this and some journaling questions are in the free PDF guide linked in the description to guide you through your walk and your English practice. Now, it's time to practice speaking. This is the part of the video called shadowing. Shadowing means you're going to listen carefully to what I say when I read you my journal entry from my walk that I did with about Terry Fox. As you listen, you're going to pause the video and repeat the sentences right after me, trying to copy my pronunciation and rhythm. It's a great way to improve your fluency and your confidence. Let's try it with the sentences in my journal again today and repeat them after me as many times as you want. I will pause after each sentence. If you need more time, pause the video, go back, hear it again, practice it again as many times as you need. And don't worry if you make mistakes. That is how we learn. So it's all part of that whole learning process. So let's take a try. One word, one sentence at a time. Are you ready? Let's go. This piece of interactive public art is called the Terry Fox Miracle Mile by Douglas Copeland. It goes around the perimeter of Canoe Landing Park. You need to walk the route twice to walk a mile. As you walk, you learn more about Terry and his marathon of hope. For example, Terry only wore one color of shorts, gray. Here we learned that Terry Fox was diagnosed with cancer in 1977 and had to have part of his leg amputated. In 1980, he started his Marathon of Hope, where he planned to run 26 miles, almost 42 kilometers a day, which is a full marathon from the east coast of Canada to the west coast of Canada. As you walk this path, there are 10 signs with pictures and information. Before he started this adventure, he practiced and planned. This one was about food fights. Because Terry ran so much every day, he always seemed to be eating. There were long, hard days, so sometimes the team members lost their tempers with each other. The sign tells us about the food fights they had and that they never made a mess of the restaurant, only themselves. As he was traveling across Canada, he met with many people. This sign talks about the many children who sent postcards of support. All these years later, most schools all across Canada organize a Terry Fox Walk in September. The children are reminded of his efforts and that even one person can make a big difference. Cities across Canada organize bigger Terry Fox walks or runs that are a marathon length and raise funds for cancer research. Terry may not have completed his marathon of hope, but every year donation checks for millions and millions of dollars are written and hope continues. You have learned some powerful vocabulary, Canadian spellings, and practice speaking fluently today. Now, take your own walk and think about your own journey and dreams. Write your thoughts in your journal. Download the free PDF guide below to help you with today's steps. Keep walking, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next Walk a Day English video. If you'd like to get personalized feedback on your journal entry, become a Wade member by signing up on our website. Take a look at the next video for another great Walk a Day English language adventure. If you like this video and would like to see more, click on the subscribe button or let me know in the comments below. Until our next walk, stay safe and go explore your space, one word at a time.